Yeah, it was very intense. You know, it's well, as you've seen in the film, it's a film about passion, and towards the end of the film, the passions are very intense, and every character is in a life or death situation, and you know, Guillermo's request to us was to really commit to the intensity of those feelings, and so that can be, you know, you're dealing with fear, terror, despair, guilt, shame, that those are very turbulent feelings, and you just have to commit to the truth of those feelings. That was a challenge, I think. Yeah, and I read The Mysteries of Udolpho by Anne Radcliffe, which is it's long and it's dense, but it's extraordinary, and it was written in the late 18th century. And as people say, it's the first Gothic romance. There's a young woman called Emily, and she's drawn to this man called Signor Montoni, who lives on a big house on the hill, and it's very scary. And it was the first time that any writer, and I think it's interesting that she was a woman, explained the supernatural in terms of unprocessed emotional trauma for the very first time, and I found that fascinating. So I read that. I think it's wonderful that Guillermo chooses for the heroine to save herself in this. I think that's very powerful. That often in these films or these stories, that the heroine is somehow that she's aided in her self-realization by the man, and in this regard, it's all about her own self-possession, self-awareness, and independence. I think it's really powerful that. It's like working with a master. I mean, he knows this stuff better than anybody. There's something. He says the Gothic romance is like oxygen to him. That he would do this, you know, for the rest of his life if he could. So it was a real pleasure.